What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers finally solved that center position void, right? Which is massive. And you got a guy in DeAndre Ayton. Now, look, there are definitely some questions about DeAndre Ayton that needs to be resolved, but the potential is, through the roof. Look, you talk about a guy that, for people talk about him being lazy, having no motor, and just, not caring about the game of basketball, and he's still a 17-10 guy, right? Imagine what he is if he actually gives a you-know-what. Imagine what he is if he's actually locked in and focused. So I am really excited to see what DeAndre Ayton is. He should be motivated, should be focused. He's going to have a guy like Luka Doncic looking for him and making him look fantastic, right? Like, this is a great position for DeAndre Ayton to be in, and also the Lakers, right? Lakers now solve their center position potentially long-term. Right, he's young enough. He's 26, about to be 27. He's young enough to be your answer for the next 8 years, maybe even. Right, so the fact that the Lakers were able to pull this off, make this move for free, right, is huge. You could argue it wasn't for free, that you had the casualty of losing Dorian Finney-Smith, but Dorian Finney-Smith opens up. You got DeAndre Ayton, and you also got Jake LaRavia, which is the other element of this too. But anyway, point is, you ended up essentially putting yourself in a position to where you got that center. You're in great shape. And right now, kind of look at the Lakers unit, right? And it's Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. Offensively, good luck stopping that five. Seriously. You have three guys really that could, really all five guys could self-create and score the basketball. But you have Luka and Austin Reeves. You have shooting everywhere, right? All five guys can stretch the floor and shoot. Ayton, not so much the threes. Not a guy you want taking a bunch of threes, but he can, pick and pop, knock down in the mid-range, stuff like that. Gives you a lot of versatility. Offensively, you're going to be horrifying to opposing teams. Imagine trying to stop all that firepower that the Lakers have. My big concern is defensively, right? Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are essentially traffic cones at times on defense. Rui Hachimura looks like he is stuck in mud or concrete, like the concrete dried and his feet are stuck. Right? LeBron James, when he's locked in and ready to go, we've seen him be able to be an excellent defender still and be able to exert that energy, but it's a lot to ask from him for 82 games a season to basically be the best defensive player on the court and absolute clamps night in and night out. And DeAndre Ayton can be a good, but he's never really been this great defensive player, right? He can be good. We've had seasons where he's like, when he's locked in, engaged defensively, he actually could be pretty good defensively. But we've also seen those seasons where he's just regularly getting blown by, or just, guys are scoring all over the place on him. So I really do worry about the Lakers' defense, and it's something that I think the Lakers are heavily going to need to address. Now, you could argue, look, Lakers were the best defense in all of basketball for 20 games, or I think it was 23 games, with Luka, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes. But, that 23-game stretch, as impressive as it is and as good as it was, everybody was like, this is just a really great run defensively. Right? They're not really the best defense in all of basketball. And once you get to the playoffs, those things change. Right? My concern wouldn't be the regular season. Lakers will probably win 55 games in the regular season if everyone's healthy. Right? The last thing I'm worried about is the regular season. Right? Lakers will be able to outscore teams a lot during the regular season. But once you get to the playoffs, you start getting, and things start getting tight and things start locking down, that's when I start to worry about the defensive issues and inabilities, right? I've talked about it last several years, right? Big thing that I talked about very heavily when Rui Hachimura got injected into the starting unit a couple years back. Lakers were 8-0 during that stretch, and I was like, yeah, that's great, but what happens when we can't stop anybody? Right? Lakers had an insane offensive rate. They were just running through people, and it was yeah, this is really good. But what happens when the offense dries up? And I don't care how good of an offense you are, there are times, particularly over the postseason, where your offense dries up. You still have to be able to get stops. Or if a game is tight and close, right, you have to be able to get those stops to finish and close out that game. If one team is able to get it, or even if they're not able to get, even if you just, you can't stop them and they're getting easier buckets and you're actually working hard, but you just aren't hitting buckets, again, that's not good, right? So, and lo and behold, we ran into Denver, ran into Denver again, right? And then this year we ran into Minnesota. And it's just, look, if you have a bought-in DeAndre Ayton, not Anthony Davis, DeAndre Ayton, if you have a bought-in DeAndre Ayton, I do think he can be good enough defensively, but you need perimeter help, right? Like, still the issue with Luka and Austin Reeves. I mean, in a perfect world, right, you'd have Luka Doncic, a point of attack defensive guy, right, like a Malcolm Brogdon or something like that. I'm just trying to think of guys from free agency that you could get. Problem with Malcolm Brogdon is his injury history, but like a Malcolm Brogdon, go trade for an Andrew Wiggins, have LeBron James and DeAndre Ayton, right? So that way Ayton doesn't have to be great defender. He just has to not just get dunked on all game. And you have those two perimeter point of attack guys, and then LeBron James can still defend out on the perimeter. Right? Like, that would be something that I think could be great. And then maybe go get a DeAnthony Melton and then have like Austin Reeves off the bench. Problem is, I don't think they're going to bring Austin Reeves off the bench. So it's just, that's where my biggest concern is with this team thus far. Again, it's not all sunshines or rainbows, right? Are the Lakers better? Absolutely. Could the Lakers officially win an NBA championship? Absolutely. There is a version of this where, I mean, the Lakers are terrifying. There is a version of this where, Luka Doncic is just dominant because he has a ton to prove. And we've seen Luka win playoff series essentially by himself. Now, you're going to have a motivated, healthy, energized, ready to, quiet all the haters, Luka Doncic, with the DeAndre Ayton that it needs to be bought in, locked in, focused, and ready to go. And a LeBron James that may be rejuvenated because he's like, hey, man, I might actually have a chance here. Like, again, there is a version of and Austin Reeves going in a contract year. This might be the Lakers' best chance to win a championship just because of all the kind of connecting factors. But Lakers, from here on out, obviously got to solve the backup center position. Even if it's an Al Horford, that's fine. I'm okay with it. All right. But beyond that, Lakers really need to focus on perimeter help, right? If you can't include Shake Milton into a deal to open up a roster spot, I think you need to waive Shake Milton. He's on non-guaranteed. So you get off of him and then you bring in another guy, right? Like if Lakers could bring in Al Horford, like a DeAnthony Melton, and then like I said, like a Malcolm Brogdon or something like that. Right, because Malcolm Brogdon's got some size. He's like 6'5", right? So he's a guy that can defend, 1 through 3. But if you could do something like that, bring like those guys in. So now you got Al Horford as your backup. You got 2 perimeter defenders, and then go trade for an Andrew Wiggins. Be a lot more comfortable. Be a lot more confident, right? Like, okay, Lakers starting to fill in the pieces, starting to fill in the gaps, got some defense and whatnot. Because again, offensively, you're going to be the best team in basketball. Like I do. I think the Lakers will be the best offensive team in all of basketball because you got a legit. And look, DeAndre Ayton is a lob threat, but he's not just a lob threat. Yeah, he's a guy that can score, get buckets, shoot, do everything. So, Lakers are going to be in good shape. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.